you enjoyed the intro to this video. If you'd like to join me with the rest of the flight, certainly come along. We've just had about 3 or 4 days rain here, so the water in the river's actually looking a little bit brown. But you know, this area here in Summerhill Reserve in New Zealand, it's one of those places that looks simple on the surface, but actually a lot of history in the land around us here. You know, if you look way back thousands of years to the time of the last glacial maximum, you know, the climate across New Zealand was much colder, and glaciers shaped a lot of the South Island. Even though they didn't reach this exact spot, they had a big influence on the landscape here. I mean, the rivers were flowing, you know, off the ranges, and they've carried massive amounts of gravel, you know, silt and sediment down into this area, and over time it's built up to the terraces and the rolling hills that you see around Summerhill today. You know, it's taken thousands of years of slow change, you know, water moving and shifting, and you know, nature constantly reshaping itself. Right down below, you'll see a lot of the Manawatū River, which is still, you know, doing the same job. You know, today it's actually one of those few rivers in the world that cuts right through a main mountain range, and it's always moving, you know, and it's obviously always evolving as well. You'll notice today that the river's looking pretty brown, like I said, and that's because we've had a solid few days of rain, you know, probably 3 or 4 days of non-stop rain. You know, all that rain washes sediment off the hills and the surrounding land straight into this river, so that's given it a bit of a muddy look. You know, it's not pollution, it's just the land flowing through the water. So it's quite a nice flight so far. I'm just relaxing into it. Being out here like this is more like just flying a drone for me. It's just like a bit of a reset, you know, especially this time of the year, autumn. You know, there's just something about the cooler air, the quieter feel, and the colours starting to change. It slows everything down, and you know, in a good way. And the thing is, you don't have to go too far. This is the right, well, you know, this is right near where I live, and honestly, getting out here is like, this can feel, you know, just as good as being out on the big trails sometimes, even remote trails. I've done a lot of tramping over the years, and these experiences are amazing, but there's something about, you know, keeping it simple in your own local area as well. Just stepping outside and finding a bit of space and taking a moment, you know, like flying a drone, adds just another layer to that. You get to see a lot of the landscape from a completely different perspective and angles and views you'd never normally experience, and I'm actually quite enjoying that, to be quite honest. You know, just takes a bit of focus, it takes you know, a little bit of patience. It's actually really relaxing, almost like a form of therapy actually. I think it's something that I've come to realise more and more over time. You know, my goal now is to get out there, get some enjoyment out of, you know, anything I can do. It's just coming out to a lovely spot like this, you know, something that's just works for you personally, or something that's like a hobby. It's just getting outdoors. It's all about feeding the soul a little bit, finding those small moments, you know, where things just feel right, because those moments, they do add up. Just being out here's, you know, breathing it in, flying, watching the river, you know, move. It's simple, but it's enough. And sometimes that's exactly what you need. So yeah, thanks for joining me today on this flight.